This photo tells us the catastrophic situation of the Jewish people who sought help from the neighboring countries to allow them as refugees after the Holocaust incident during the World War II. Palestine was the one who immediately embraced the Jewish refugees at one point of time. But the situation has changed over time and it turned out to be a disastrous event for Palestine. The conflict between Israel and Palestine is one of the most enduring and deeply rooted disputes in the world. At its core, it's a struggle over land, identity, and sovereignty in the Middle East. The Israeli Palestinian conflict is a protracted and deeply rooted conflict that has resulted in numerous battles, clashes, and military operations over the years. The establishment of the State of Israel and the migration of Jewish people to the region is a complex historical narrative. Let's dive into this video to know more about this. In the early to mid 20th century, Jewish people faced increasing discrimination and persecution in Europe, particularly in Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler. The Holocaust, which took place during World War II, resulted in a systematic murder of approximately 6 million Jews in Europe. After the end of World War II and the Holocaust, survivors and Jewish refugees sought new homes. The British Mandate of Palestine was one destination for Jewish survivors, as it was a place where they could potentially establish a Jewish state. Jewish immigration to Palestine increased significantly during this period. In 1947, the United Nations proposed a partition plan for Palestine, recommending the creation of separate Jewish and Arab states and an international administration for Jerusalem. The plan was accepted by the Jewish leadership but rejected by the Arab states. On May 4, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, the head of the Jewish Agency, declared the establishment of the State of Israel. This declaration marked the official founding of the modern State of Israel. The Declaration of Israel led to a series of conflicts between Israel and its neighboring Arab states, as they did not recognize the legitimacy of the new state. 1948 Arab-Israeli War. This war followed the declaration of the State of Israel in 1948. It involved Arab states including Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, and Syria launching a military intervention to prevent the establishment of Israel. The conflict resulted in a ceasefire in 1949, with Israel gaining control of significant territory beyond the borders defined in the United Nations partition plan. Six-Day War. The Six-Day War was a pivotal event in the conflict. It began on June 5, 1967, when Israel launched a preemptive strike against Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. The war lasted only 6 days but had profound consequences. Israel captured the West Bank and East Jerusalem from Jordan, the Gaza Strip and Sinai Peninsula from Egypt, and the Golan Heights from Syria. Yom Kippur War. The Yom Kippur War, also known as the October War, was a surprise attack by Egypt and Syria on Israel during the Yom Kippur holiday in 1973. Israel eventually repelled the attacks and managed to cross the Suez Canal and encircle Egyptian forces. This war led to a ceasefire and eventual peace negotiations. First Intifada. The First Intifada was a Palestinian uprising against Israeli rule in the West Bank and Gaza Strip during 1987 to 1993. It involved widespread civil disobedience, protests, and clashes with Israeli forces. It ultimately led to the Oslo Accords, a series of agreements aimed at achieving a two-state solution. Second Intifada. The Second Intifada was a violent uprising marked by suicide bombings, shootings, and Israeli military incursions into the Palestinian territories during 2000 to 2005. It had a devastating impact on both sides and hindered peace negotiations. Gaza Wars. The Gaza Strip has seen several wars and military operations, including Operation Cast Lead during 2008 to 2009, Operation Pillar of Defense during 2012, and Operation Protective Edge during 2014. These conflicts mainly took place between Israel and Hamas, the Palestinian militant group that controls Gaza. In May 2021, there was a significant escalation of violence, including rocket attacks from Gaza into Israel and Israeli airstrikes in Gaza. The violence led to a ceasefire brokered by Egypt and other international countries. The whole world is concerned about the ongoing Israel against Hamas-Palestine conflict 2023, which started after the Hamas group targeted the major cities of Israel with almost 3,000 rockets in 20 minutes on 7th October 2023. Israel is escalating its bombardment of targets in the Gaza Strip ahead of an expected ground invasion against Hamas militants. The war is rapidly raising the death toll in Gaza. Over 1,400 Israelis, mostly civilians, were killed, including 260 people at a music festival in Ream. Over 200 unarmed civilian hostages and captured Israeli soldiers were taken to the Gaza Strip, including women and children. The history of Jewish migration to Palestine is closely tied to religious, historical, and political factors, and it plays a significant role in the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which revolves around issues related to borders, territory, and identity. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been the subject of numerous peace efforts and negotiations, including the Oslo Accords in the 1990s and various international initiatives. But still, the conflict has not ended and continues to affect the livelihood of civilians at both places. See you guys in the next video. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe my channel for more videos.